Hello, guys. Welcome back. This is episode 30 of Ladies First. I am your host, Amber Vickers. Let me adjust my mic. That's good. Okay. I think I'm okay now. I think I'm all right now. I'm back with another show. Um, this show will be about the WNBA draft. I got some NBA news and things like that, but I want this show to be about the WNBA draft. It just happened from 6 to 8. That's why I am late because I was watching the draft and I was also on a Zoom call getting some interview tips on how to dress and how to dress in front of the camera and things like that. But I'm back. I had a full day today. I did an interview with Aaron. Shout out to Aaron. I was on his podcast, Business Casual Basketball. That should be out tomorrow, so I'll retweet that. But I appreciate him for having me on. We talked about injuries around the NBA. We also talked about the referees and these technicals. So that should be a very, very good podcast to listen to. But I am here an hour later. I was going to do a draft show, but I decided to just wait and do it an hour later. And I'll be off before 9 o'clock. So Backstop Banter with Connie and Michael can get on time. So I appreciate the support. If you guys missed the WNBA draft, it was a good one. A lot of surprises. I'll talk about that. I learned how to pronounce some names, which is always great for me. But I don't like being wrong. I say this a lot on Ladies First. I don't like being wrong. And I was wrong about a lot of picks. I think a lot of people were surprised when some players were picked. But we'll get into all of that. It's 3 rounds. It was 2 hours. The second round went quicker, of course, and the third round went really quick. So they were able to highlight some players that got picked later than expected, and they were able to highlight some players that got picked earlier than expected. Great stories as well out of those players that have been picked and get interviewed and things like that. I always love the stories. I don't like sad stories. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't like the sad stories. I like the good, positive, upbeat stories. In the NFL, when they do those drafts, those stories are so sad for me. And I'm like, I don't want to know that. Like, it's just very heavy. I like for those athletes to be shown in a positive light, although some of those stories are important and necessary, but the NFL just showed too many sad stories for me. And I was like, what? Can we get some happy stories? The energy just went from, yay, I got drafted to a sad story. And I'm like, okay. So hopefully this year, NFL draft doesn't share as many of those very sad stories. I like to see the positive side. Although I think the sad stories are necessary, there just seemed like there was a lot of them during the NFL draft, which is the end of April, I believe. I'll talk about the NFL draft when it comes, but tonight is all about the ladies, of course. I'm gonna share a little NBA news with you guys as well. Not very much because I want to get this show. I want to go through the show rather quickly because I know sometimes I say, hey, I'm going to have a 30-minute show, and I end up having a 45-minute show or an hour show, hour and 20-minute show. But Backstop Banter has to go on at 9. So I am very conscious of their time and also conscious of my time. Before we get started with everything, I had something else I want to say. That's why I took a pause. Never mind. I'll save that for later. Um, I'm going to do a prayers at the end of the show. I'm going to talk about some things at the end of the show as well that I talk about them sometimes, but I want to touch on some things and events that happened in America um, that are very heavy on me as a Black woman in America. So I want to talk about that. Then I want to give a prayer, do a prayer segment because DMX passed. Today's Jackie Robinson Day. I didn't know that. Um, I got on Twitter. I was like, whoa, because all my timeline is filled with WNBA news. And I said, whoa, today is Jackie Robinson Day. That's a huge day in baseball history. So shout out to you, Jackie Robinson, for being that man with that courage to break that color barrier and to become the man you became in the baseball world. So I'm gonna do a prayer segment because we did lose DMX, and then things that are going on around the country as well. I want to kind of address that. And then we'll talk about the draft. But first, I'm going to share some NBA news. Before I do that, I got to get these promos out the way. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And we're going to go teespring.com/stores/unwrapped. Get all your Unwrapped Sports Network gear here. Come on, computer. Load for me. There we go. Get all your gear here. And all the live lineups have gear. Fights, Generation Z, Fourth Man Pod. The 3-on-3 tournament is coming back. I know they're excited about that. The People's XFL show. Of course, ladies first. I have my mug here. I did not wear my shirt because I have on a WNBA shirt today. Saturday Standouts with Caleb and Sam. They're covering a lot of draft stuff. So if you want to know about the draft, each position they're covering in the draft, go check out Saturday Standouts. Backstop Banter. Baseball's in full swing. Literally. It's in full swing. Check out Backstop Banter. Of course, Business Casual Basketball is what I was on with Aaron earlier, Keeping It Blunt with Perry and Caleb. They have a great time on Keeping It Blunt. How'd you guys miss Chick-fil-A on the fast food? You know, Chick-fil-A is my go-to for fast food. When I do eat it, I miss the Prop Pros. I love that shirt. The Long Ball Lounge with Jesse. Jesse went on earlier today, but he said his computer cut out at the end of his broadcast. So hopefully it doesn't do that to me, but check out his gear. I really like his gear. It's simple. I love that mug. So check out that. That's our newest show on the live lineup. Check out that shop, teespring.com/store/unwrapped. All right. Next we have, you want to be a part of the family, or you just want to support, or you want to be VIP. $1 a month gets you support. $5 a month gets you part of the family with all these benefits. $10 a month gets you these benefits plus extra benefits, which include signed paraphernalia. Now, it could be something different. Last month it was David Montgomery jersey. The month before that, it was a Keenan Allen jersey. I won the Keenan Allen jersey. Garrett from Iowa won the David Montgomery jersey. So every month it depends on what it is. I'm not sure what it is this month. Perry hasn't announced it yet, but become part of the VIP, you get those perks and then these perks as well. And 20% off of the teespring.com/store/unwrapped shop. So help us out here at patreon.com/unwrapped sports. Support the family. All right. A lot of betting going on. A lot of betting going on. A whole bunch of betting going on. We got live game odds. We got props for MLB and basketball, the PGA Tour. We have that. Boxing, of course. UFC, Bellator, the European leagues. It's everything you can think of. NHL, baseball, soccer, all of it. All of it, guys. Get on here. Check out mybookie.ag. Use the code USN100 to double your first deposit. I got addicted to it for a little bit. Then I kind of calmed down. I haven't been betting much here lately, but I will probably get back on my betting. I know I need to win some extra money. So that's always good. So check out mybookie.ag. Use the code USN100 to double your first deposit. Last but not least, sore, achy muscles. I've been playing basketball here lately. My Achilles is feeling better. So check out rxhemp.com. Use the code rxhemp/USN to get 10% off of your entire order. Warm and cool therapy. Pay attention to the dosage. I promise I won't put that much on. I've made that mistake before, guys, and I've been an athlete my whole life, so I understand. Celebrity Believers is made with all natural ingredients. Check out rxhemp.com. Use the code rxhemp/USN to get 10% off of your order. All right. NBA news. Anthony Davis has been cleared for full court activity, I believe. So his Achilles looks like it's coming along. Although I still think it's a little bit more serious than that. You guys, if you guys are fans, hello Matt, how are you doing? Spicy Queso has joined the show. I appreciate it, Spicy Queso. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys listen to me on Count the Bucket or Ladies First, I just do not trust the NBA medical team. Matt, I'm doing okay this Thursday. It's been a busy day for me, really busy day. How are you doing? How are you feeling about your Packers in the draft? Who do you think they're going to draft? I just want to know. Let me know down below. We'll talk about it a little bit. But it's something about NBA medical staffs. I don't know if it's the way they blundered KD's injury with the Achilles or what. But I'm assuming Anthony Davis will probably come back in a week or two. But I think his minutes will be limited. He might get the KD treatment. KD plays about 25 minutes a game. Steve Nash says he wants to play him 30, but it just depends on how his body feels. I think Anthony Davis will be the same. I think LeBron will be the same, but I don't think the Lakers want to slip too far down in the standings. But with Portland struggling, I'm sorry guys, my dog is next door barking at the dogs next door. Well, the dogs next door are barking at my dog. They have fun. Those are his buddies. But the Lakers are sitting fifth. You guys know the Nuggets suffered a major injury with Jamal Murray. They're sitting fourth. The Clippers keep winning. They're sitting third. Phoenix is second. Utah's first. Dallas got a very important win against Memphis. So the Lakers are kind of jockeying for position. I think if they stay 4 or 5, they'll be fine. I don't think they'll get 3. I don't think they'll get 2. I don't think they'll get 1. I think they're 4 or 5 is where they'll sit. So right now, I think they're sitting pretty. Whether it be the Nuggets they play, Portland, even though they have a very difficult schedule, maybe Dallas, I'm not sure. It just depends. It really depends on Anthony Davis's minutes. I know all the Lakers starters are out except for KCP. And I think the Lakers play the Celtics tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I've been watching the draft. I've been paying attention to the draft. Yes, they play at 9 o'clock on TNT. So Lakers and Celtics play tonight. I'm wondering what Frank Vogel is going to do and their medical staff is going to do. Let me read the comment. Spicy Queso said, hopefully either a receiver or somebody that will make an impact right away on the defense. Okay. I'm pretty sure you'll be picking for the Packers when the Unwrapped Sports Network does their mock draft. He also says, I agree with you as well, Amber. As long as the Lakers stay in the top 5, they'll be okay. Yeah, you don't want to slip to 6, which would probably be your matchup with the Clippers because I don't think they're going to slip to 4. I think the top 3 are solidified in the West. I think the top 3 are solidified in the East. That 4, 5, 6 in the West is a little dicey. That 4, 5, 6, the East is dicey after 3. After 3, the East is a toss-up, pretty much. In the West, after 3, you think the Nuggets and the Lakers stay 4 or 5. I think that would be the first round matchup, which was the matchup for last year's Western Conference Finals. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, even 11, if the Pelicans can somehow string together wins. They did lose against the Knicks. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to Tom Thibodeau. Shout out to Julius Randle. He's been balling this year. Finally made an all-star team. So he did beat his former team last night. So the Knicks are coming. I think that the East is really a toss-up. In that category, Zach LaVine is out with COVID protocol, 10 to 14 days. I think Washington can steal that 10th spot. I would not want to play Washington in a play-in game because you do have Russell Westbrook and you do have Bradley Beal who can take over a game at any time, and it's one game. So I predicted on Count the Bucket that Washington would probably take that spot from the Bulls. But now with Zach LaVine out 10 to 14 days with COVID protocol, and not very many games left. It's probably, 3 weeks left in the season? Maybe 4. So you got about 18 games left. And you just lost, I think, back-to-back games the Bulls have lost. So it doesn't look good for them in that 10th spot. If Washington can find a way to win and keep winning, they can jump the Bulls and get that 10th spot. So we'll see about that in the East. The West, wow. San Antonio just can't quite get their footing. Memphis took a tough loss. Golden State, it's Steph or bust. They blew out OKC the other night. I'm not surprised. But will Golden State go all in to get in a play-in game and possibly get eliminated in the first round by either Utah or Phoenix? Who knows? What will Golden State do? That's a real issue because they rely a lot on Steph Curry. Right now they're playing Cleveland in Cleveland. So we'll see what they decide to do with James Wiseman out for the season. He had surgery today on his knee. It's a lot to think about with the playoffs and injuries and COVID. There will be jockeying for position, but I think the top three in the West and the top three in the East are solid. I think those will be the top three. Everything else is up in the air. Speaking of NBA news, Lamarcus Aldridge. I get off work today. I checked the timeline. Lamarcus retired. He had an irregular heartbeat. I know he was out of one of the, I think it was the game before last with non-COVID protocol. And people were kind of like, players need to play and da-da-da-da-da-da. I get that, but you got to get the full story first. I can bring up Kyrie all day long with this. People are like, why is Kyrie not playing? Well, religious reasons. So, where his spiritual, I'm going to say spiritual reasons, which is very valid. Enes Kanter, Hakeem Olajuwon was a Muslim his whole life. And, Kyrie just converted to Muslim. He took personal leave the time before that because his fiance, either she had her baby or she was having complications with her pregnancy. So, like I said before, Kyrie's purpose is bigger than basketball. When these players take time off for non-related injuries, you have to be sensitive to that. And when Lamarcus took time off for his non-related injury, people were like, oh, what's wrong with him now? And da-da-da-da. And then it comes out he had an irregular heartbeat and he needs to get checked out by a doctor. So he's decided to retire. That's heavy. That's heavy. I really want to read the statement from Lamarcus Aldridge. I'm going to do that, and then we're going to get into some WNBA stuff. But I thought that was really heavy for him to retire. It came out of nowhere. Everybody was shocked. The whole sports world was shocked. Let me get this statement from Lamarcus Aldridge. I've retweeted a lot of stuff to get today, guys. Bear with me. I'll share my screen in a minute. But that was this morning. So I got to go all the way back to this morning's tweets. Wow. Because I've retweeted a lot of WNBA news, a lot of jobs and things like that. So I think I'm almost there. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, let me share this with you guys. I found it. All right. Today I write this letter with a heavy heart. My last game I played dealing with an irregular heartbeat. Later on that night, my rhythm got even worse, which really worried me even more. The next morning, I told the team what was going on, and they were great getting me to the hospital and getting me checked out. Though I am better now, what I felt with my heart that night was still one of the scariest things I've experienced. With that being said, I've made the decision to retire from the NBA. For 15 years, I put basketball first, and now it is time to put my health and family first. I'm thankful for everything this game has given me, the great memories, including all the ups and downs and the friendships I've made, and will keep with me forever. I thank Portland for drafting a skinny Texas kid, and giving him a chance. The city of Portland has given me some unforgettable years. They will always remain in my heart. Why do I put words where I think they should be? I don't know. I want to thank the Spurs for letting me into the family and giving me 5 fun years. Last but not least, I want to thank Brooklyn. You wanted me for me in a game that's changing so much. You asked me to come and just do what I do, which was good to hear. I'm sorry it didn't get to last long, but I've Definitely have fun being a part of this special group. You never know when something will come to an end, so make sure you enjoy it every day. I truly say that I just did. And he's signature and he's out. Mic drop. So that was heavy and that was tough. I want to share this what the Nets said as well. The Nets, this is from Sean Marks, the general manager. The Nets organization fully supports Lamarcus's decision. And while we value what he has brought to our team during his short time in Brooklyn, his health and well-being are far more important than a game of basketball. We know this was not an easy decision for him, but after careful consideration and consultation with numerous medical experts, he made the best decision for him, his family, and for his life after basketball. We wish Lamarcus, Kia, and their family much health and happiness going forward. Yeah, that was the biggest shocker today. I mean, that shocked me completely when he decided to retire. I get off work, Shams and Woj. I said, okay, this is real. This is really real. So I'm going to send a prayer up to Lamarcus Aldridge. I enjoyed watching you in college. I agree with Damian Lillard. Portland should retire number 12. You gave that city of Portland hope. You gave that city hope. And it sucks that he never got to play in the NBA Finals. And I really wanted that for Lamarcus. But I am proud of him and what he's done for the game of basketball. And good luck, Lamarcus. Good luck in your future endeavors. He will be on the prayer list. So I'm going to do a prayer list after I get done talking about the WNBA. But that's it for NBA news. Let's go to the treat of the night. Yes, the draft. Whew. The draft was a lot. I'm not going to lie. The draft was a lot because there were picks and I said, what? I was totally shocked by some of the picks that were made. Now, I wish I could get this bigger. Hold on, guys. I'm going to do it like this. I'll do it like this. I'm going to talk about the first round. So here's the first round. If you guys don't know, the WNBA draft has 3 rounds. The NBA has 2 rounds. Just for you guys that don't know. All right. First round. The first 2 picks, I said, okay. I watched some YouTube tape on her. She's pretty good. I said, okay, Dallas, you got the first 2 picks. Address your needs. You got good guard play. You need some help in size. They got that with Charlie and a walk. Yes. Yes, I said her name right. The good thing about having a volume on, you can learn how to pronounce the names. I predicted these 2 picks. With Atlanta, I did not predict Ari McDonald going to Atlanta. I thought she would be a top 5 pick. I just thought Atlanta would go in a different direction. Now, I knew Indiana needed a guard, but they needed a guard with size because they got Dan Robinson in free agency. They still have Kelsey Mitchell. So I said, okay, Indiana go get a guard with size. I didn't see that pick coming. I watched her play in the Big 12. She's pretty darn good. I like her. I like her versatility a lot, especially on the defensive end. I said, okay, Indiana. So you have to remember, any draft, whether it's WNBA, NBA, MLB, NFL, it's not about projection. It's about fit. Where do you fit? Right? Where do you fit? I thought the Dallas Wings did a great job. Atlanta is going to be a fun city for basketball. You got some bright personalities. You got Katie Carter. You got Courtney Williams. And now you have Ari McDonald. And then you have Tiffany Hayes coming back. That is a bright locker room. Let me tell you, that locker room is going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun there in Atlanta. This pick right here, shout out to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Shout out to Sapulpa. Chelsea Dungy at 5. I was shocked at. Now, mind you, it's about fit. So Dallas took these 2 players. I said, okay, with Charlie and Awak. I said, okay. Chelsea Dungy surprised me. 1, 2, 3 all surprised me. They all kind of shocked me where they were picked. But I'm proud of Chelsea Dungy. She went to the University of Oklahoma, transferred, had to sit out a year, of course, and gave a great career in Arkansas. Very good guard. I like Chelsea Dungy a lot. A lot. And then she went to Sapulpa, which is a school right outside of Tulsa. New York Liberty. She showed out in the tournament. They went out tough, but Michaela showed out. She really showed out. She had an interesting story. Her coach sat her down in an exit meeting and told her, you have to be the gal or the guy. You have to be the gal. You have to be our main player. She took on that responsibility. She has to improve her outside shooting a little bit, but I like Michaela here. I love it. The spark surprised me taking Jasmine Walker. I know Nick. If you guys don't know who Nick is, he covers the WNBA. He likes Jasmine Walker. I got to see her play a little bit. She's a big who can shoot the three. She shoots about 40% from the three. And that pick shocked me too. Overseas pick. So check this out. In the first 8 picks, you have 2 players from overseas. Chicago needed a backup point guard to Courtney Vandersloot. They got one. I don't know much about her, but I'm pretty sure I'll find out a lot. By the way, Michaela's grandma stole the draft. When she got up and danced, her outfit was everything. Her dance was everything. Her celebration was everything. It was amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, I'm going to show it to you at the end of the show. I mean, it was great. It's great to see how happy your family is for you and their love and support. Miss Davis. I predicted Miss Davis to be a top 10 draft pick, and she was. Minnesota got a good one. So you get Aerial Powers. I like Aerial Powers. You got Dangerfield. You got Collier. Minnesota's doing some things there. Cheryl Reeve is doing some things there in Minnesota. So will Maya Moore eventually come back to playing basketball? We don't know. Miss Davis is very, very, very versatile. I like what she brings on the offensive end and the defensive end. I had her going top 10. Stephanie Watts. This is a guard that I watched a little bit play in the Pac-12. I like her for Los Angeles with the speed that they play at. I like it for them. Aaliyah Wilson got traded to Indiana. So Indiana now has another guard. She'll be fighting for a roster spot. She played a good NCAA tournament and she improved her draft stock as well. I don't know much about the France for it, but I'm pretty sure I'll find out. She'll be competing for a roster spot because I think the Vegas Aces have that position pretty solidified. But I do think that she can contribute. So I'll be watching some film on her as well. Also, shout out to Holly Rowe for speaking French on live television. It is so difficult to do. So out of this top 12, which is the first round, everybody knew Charlie Collier was going number 1, even Kevin Durant. He even gave her a FaceTime call. This week, I knew she would go number 2. So she started to get buzzed. I said, okay. Now, the rest of these, I did not predict. I knew that Miss Davis will be in the top 10. Michaela, I thought she would be a late first-round pick. The rest of these picks, I didn't see coming. Ari McDonald, I thought she'd be top 5. Atlanta took her at 3. Chelsea Dungy, I thought she could be probably early second round. Dallas Wings took her at 5. So these picks surprised me. And when we go to the second round, you'll be even more surprised with some picks in the second round. Let's go to the second round. Dana Evans falls in the second round. So they could have got Dana Evans at 5 or 2, which 2 would have been a reach for Dana Evans, but 5 wouldn't have. Yeah, because you had to take the pick at number 2. So I get why Dallas did it. But at 5, I probably would have took Dana Evans at 5 if you were looking for a guard. Now they wanted a bigger guard at number 5. But I think you could have got Dana Evans at 5. Although Chelsea Dungy is bigger, I like Dana Evans more. So you could have got Dana Evans at 5, but you got her at 13. Now, Chelsea Dungy's teammate, Destiny Slocum. She's a true point guard. She's a true point guard, plays the point guard position, high IQ, very good on defense, really savvy around the goal. I like the way she shoots the ball. It's very fluid, all in one motion. I like Destiny Slocum. She'll be fighting for a spot. I don't know much about the center from Spain. When I learn about her, you'll know because I'll be covering the WNBA this year. Natasha Mack, I have projected top 5, latest top 10. This is your defensive player of the year. All Big 12, All American. Did everything for Oklahoma State. She didn't have the best game against Stanford, but the game before that, she had a very good game. She's been consistent all season long. This shocked me. This was a huge shocker. So far in the second round, Dana Evans and Natasha Mack, two biggest surprises. I thought they would be first round picks for sure, but the draft has become very unpredictable. The NCAA tournament this year was very unpredictable, and I liked that. I like that the draft was unpredictable, even though I don't like being wrong, but I still like the element of surprise. I think Dana Evans and Natasha Mack will both make their rosters because you get help for Candace Park on that defensive end, on that back end for Chicago. She makes the team. She makes the team, and she's going to be a key contributor. Dana Evans, I believe, makes that team as well. Dee Richards. She was the defensive player of the year last year. So Dee Richards out of Baylor. She plays in that game. She finishes that game against UConn. I think Baylor pulls it off. But she wasn't able to finish because her hamstring was giving her issues. She goes to New York. So she'll be playing alongside Sabrina. And that should be interesting. She is a defensive player. She's also a point guard. She doesn't shoot the ball very well. But that will improve. She's a pro now, so that will improve. I'm not really worried about players that can't shoot because you can always improve your shooting. But she gives it her all on defense. Kim Mulkey breathes them very, very well at Baylor. I'm not really worried about Dee Richards, but I think she will be fighting for a roster spot. Kiana Williams, the all-time leading three-point shooter at Stanford, shocked me in the second round, number 6. I think she might fight for a roster spot. This might be Sue Bird's last year. You still have Jordan Canada there. So this is tough. I think she's probably going to fight for a roster spot just because the rosters are so small in the WNBA. There's not enough teams, but I think she can make it. I think she can make it with her shooting and her defense. Sometimes she takes ill-advised shots. We saw that in the tournament, but she's a steady guard. And Tara Vanderveer is a great coach. So I think she'll make the team. Unique Thompson. This is a great pick. For Indiana. I think she makes the team as well. Now, guys, I'm just predicting these players to make a team based off the roster that I know. So the roster that I know, I'm thinking about the roster. I'm thinking about free agents. I'm thinking about who got training camp contracts. And all this is going through my head. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, will their skill set translate to the WNBA? Can they help a team? I think Unique Thompson can help a team. Her size, her athleticism on defense and offense is really, really, really vital. And Indiana needs that. This is a young lady I thought would go late first round too. She improved her draft stock, Dejanay Carrington. Now, it was tweeted that the Connecticut Sun have 5 players fighting for 2 spots, and Dejanay Carrington is one of them. Michaela Kelly will be fighting for a spot too, so back-to-back picks. So I predicted late first round, but she went late second or mid-second. So we'll see what Dejanay Carrington can bring to the table. I thought she really, really improved her draft stock. I thought she'd be a first-round pick. But like I said, it's about fit. Not about talent, but about fit. Michaela Kelly, I have to watch her play. Hopefully, I can watch her play. I'm going to try to watch some training camp footage and things like that because I will be getting WNBA League Pass. So hopefully, they'll show training camp on the League Passes so I can watch it. I have NBA TV, so maybe they might show them on NBA TV. But who knows? I need to watch some training camps. I need to get to know some of these players a little bit more. She was top 5 available when the draft started. Arilla was top 5 available when the draft started. Dropped all the way down to number 10 in the second round. She will make that Sparks team. I'm not worried about that. She will make that Sparks team. Unless something drastic happens, Arilla will make the Los Angeles Sparks team. I'm going to repeat. She was top 5 available when the draft started. And she drops down to number 10. Number 10 in the second round. That shocked the heck out of me. I was completely shocked. Ndia Jones had a very solid tournament. She'll be fighting for a roster spot with Seattle. She will definitely be fighting for a roster spot for the defending champs. Let's see if she can make the team. I can't wait to start watching these training camps. Trendy Baptiste. Now, I didn't know if she would get drafted or not. I wasn't quite sure. Her athleticism on the defensive end, she does get in foul trouble. She does tend to get in foul trouble every now and then. But her athleticism on defensive end and offensive end, she needs to improve her shooting a little bit. But I like Trendy Baptiste a lot. That was Ari McDonald's number 2. So that is the second round. I know I'm going through these quick, but it's only 3 rounds. It's only 12 picks. So Phoenix hasn't had a pick yet. Phoenix traded, let me see. They traded away the second round pick. That would have been Dejanay Carrington. Yeah, Phoenix didn't have a pick in the first round or the second round. Let's see what they had in the third round. All right, first round pick. I'm going to tell you first round talent. I'll say she got picked in the right spot. I think she could be the first round talent and first round talent. So there was some first round talent that went in the second round. That was shocking. Twitter was even shocked when they saw some of these picks. I was just as shocked. Now, these are some players that I haven't watched much because it's the third round. And usually around the third round in the WNBA, you get players that sometimes might make it to training camp. Sometimes they might not. They'll be cutting it close. That's why the WNBA needs to expand. I'm going to bring somebody on to talk about that. I think the WNBA needs more teams. There's so many talented women out there that are not on WNBA teams. So let's look at this third round. We went Valerie Higgins, Chelsea Perry, Lizzie Pulliam, Ivana. See, I don't know. I know her. I know Sierra Johnson. She'll be fighting for a spot. And then some more international players. So how many international players? Well, Oregon, Spain. I'll count that. 1, 2, 3. She could sneak on a roster. I like the way she plays. I watched her play a couple of times against South Carolina and also against Tennessee. Maya could really sneak on a roster. Very athletic, very quick. Needs to work on her shooting, but I think she could probably maybe sneak on that Indiana Fever roster. They are guard heavy. They do have guards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 internationals picked in the third round. Let's look at the second round. 1. There was 1 in the second round, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9. There were 9 international players taken in 36 picks. That's a third. No, 9 times 3 is 27. Never mind. It's probably a 25%. 9 and a 36 is what? Probably 25%. Yep, I was right. 25% of the WNBA draft was international. I think this number will expand and it will grow. I think it will expand and will grow. I think there will be more international players picked. And that's a trend you're going to see. Like in the NBA, you're seeing more international players being picked ahead of American players that played in America. Now, I think a reason why this might be happening is because of the competition. They're playing at a professional level early. Luka came into the league. I'll use Luka Doncic, for example. He came into the league ready to play. Lauren Jackson, she came into the league ready to play. So players like that, it's hard to pass up on because you see the potential. She has all the potential in the world. She has all of the potential in the world. Nick did a comp. Shout out to Nick. He comped her to Candace Parker. So if she has Candace Parker's potential, she's going to be a star in the league. You're seeing it more and more. You're seeing it more and more. And I like it. I do. I like the international flavor coming to professional sports. I think it's something good and it's something special. Guys, that was the WNBA draft. A lot of surprises. I was shocked. Twitter was shocked at some of the picks, but it's about fit, not talent. Some of these players will make a roster, some won't. Half of them won't make a roster because of the roster space. So just think about it. In the NBA, they have two-way contracts, so they can go to the G League and then get called up. WNBA, you don't have that. Even though you're going to go play internationally for about 6 or 7 months after the league is over with, you have to stay in shape because you never know. Somebody might call you. There might be an injury. Something might happen. Hey, we need you to come play for us for 10 days, and we'll see if we want to sign you on. You should take advantage of that opportunity because there are not very many opportunities out there. I want to say to the young ladies who got drafted, congratulations. Congratulations. Natasha Mack's story, I didn't know. I think she was a chicken picker or something like that. Something country. I'm from Oklahoma. So it's not too far-fetched for me to say a chicken picker. But somebody from New York, I'm like, what is that? Or LA, what is a chicken picker? But I think she used a chicken picker or something like that. She told the story on ESPN. I thought it was very interesting. Charlie Collier's dad passed, but he told her she would be number 1 overall pick. She's number 1 overall pick. Miss Davis threw a whole party live on ESPN. She couldn't even talk to Holly. And LaChina Robinson said, I know you're having fun, but come on back and talk to us. She was just so excited. You see stories like that. We all know what Didi Richards went through in October and having a spinal cord injury in practice and overcoming that and being picked in the second round WNBA draft, making it to the Elite Eight before falling short to UConn. These women go through a lot. And there are some great stories out there. There are some really great stories out there. Holly Rose speaking French out of nowhere. What, Holly? Just add that to your resume, why don't you? But I'm really happy for these ladies. I'm very excited for them. I'll be watching the training camps because I need to learn about some of these ladies. First rounders, I know pretty much mainly the first round because there were some surprises, but I've watched those ladies play, but I need to watch these international ladies play a little bit more. I'm excited about that. I want to learn more about international women's basketball, not just the Americans that go over there, but the international players that are already playing over there and that want to be drafted. I need to learn more about that. I'm still learning. I'm still growing in the sports industry, and that's okay. I've been doing this since December 2019, so I think I'm doing pretty good. Learning on how to pronounce names I need phonetics in front of me, but watching the draft, it helped me learn how to pronounce some of these names because they know the players tell them, this is how you pronounce my name. I don't have a player telling me, hey, this is how you pronounce my name. I got to listen to it, decipher it, pronounce it, And I'm like, okay, and hope I get it right. But that's the draft. That's the draft. The league starts May. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. I wonder what training camp starts. Schedule. The full schedule was released too, guys. I'm going to do the full schedule next week. By the way, May 14th is when the season starts. May 14th. I am super duper excited. May 14th is when the season starts. I will be talking about the full schedule next week, but I want to talk about the draft tonight because it was fresh. I'll be copping some merch. I'm going to wear some merch. I think the jerseys are $100. I'm going to give me like 3 or 4. I'm excited about that. I wore the Power of Women shirt, WNBA shirt that I got last summer. I got the hoodie. I have yet to wear my orange hoodie. I think I'm going to wear that this week. It's been a little cold in Oklahoma here. Been a little cold here. I haven't been able to go do my outdoor exercises, so I will be wearing my hoodie. What else do I want to talk about with the WNBA? That's pretty much it. But blessings to those ladies that got drafted, those ladies that did not get drafted, and that probably will get a phone call about coming to training camp. I wish you well. I'll be letting you guys know, keeping you guys updated about who made rosters, who didn't, giving you the final rosters because those will probably be available sometime beginning of May. Training camp's probably going to start the next week. I know EuroLeague is still going on. The EuroLeague playoffs for the women internationally is still going on. So that's a quick turnaround. Talked about that today with Aaron, how the WNBA players have to turn around real quick after each season. Their bodies have gotten used to it. Some of them take breaks. Either they don't play a WNBA season or they don't play overseas. It's usually overseas. I usually like to play the WNBA seasons. So it's a quick turnaround for the ladies, but they do it. They give birth and go right back out there and play basketball. So I don't know how women do it. I watched childbirth in class on video, and I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out how my mom did it, how these women do it, and come back and play. Shout out to you because that is very strong of you. Women, God gave women a certain type of strength, and I just applaud you ladies for it. Now that we've talked about the WNBA, we've talked about some NBA news, my prayers list. I'm going to start with DMX. DMX has been battling that drug addiction for a long time, and it finally caught up to him. He was getting better, not getting better. He get better, he relapse, he get better, he relapse. But he's very honest about it. He's very honest about his struggles with addiction. And that's hard to do. That's hard to do. But DMX, I was in 5th grade when Stop, Drop, Shut 'Em Down, Open Up Shop came out, and we used to sing that. We used to rap that at recess. I was raised right. I had good parenting, guys. Don't judge me. But we used to rap that at recess. And I just have memories of that song and memories of DMX through my middle school days and my high school days. So prayers up to Earl Simmons' family. DMX, we miss you. Hopefully you're in a better place. We love you. Give Aaliyah a hug for me. And yeah, I really, really enjoy his music. It helps me get through my workouts. Let me tell you, it really does. So that's my prayer. Other prayer, I'm going to pray for America. I don't have time to get into why I need to pray for America. Being Black in America is tough. It's exhausting. It's another video surfaced today. We know what happened. There was an incident that happened where a guy was walking in his neighborhood on the sidewalk, and the guy said, "You don't belong here." And the guy's like, "I live in this neighborhood. I walk my neighborhood every day, and my neighborhood is predominantly white. But I walk in my neighborhood every day. People wave at me, and yeesh, that's tough." And then we saw an innocent life being taken over air freshener and a weed warrant that was sent to the wrong house. You mistake your taser. You thought the gun was a taser, and you've been on the force for 20 years. A black life in America is like non-existent. I say we live in two different worlds. We do. I can honestly say that as a black woman in America that we live in two different worlds. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I know who I am and what I am. And I should be able to have the same type of privilege as someone else, but I don't. I recognize that. I understand that. And a lot of us do. I say 95% of us do. Unless you live in a world where you're just blind and your third eye isn't open. My third eye remains open all the time. I know what's going on around me. I know my neighborhood pretty well. I have a big neighborhood, but I understand it pretty well. I see the same people when I walk and they wave at me. I haven't had any issues walking my neighborhood. Thank God. I really thank God for that. But I know people that do. They live in predominantly like white neighborhoods and don't think that people of color belong in their neighborhood. Segregation, systematic racism. I could go on and on about it, but I won't. But prayers to Minnesota. I'm just going to say Minnesota in general, because we know what we're dealing with the George Floyd trial. The young man that lost his life. Also, there was an Army, was he a lieutenant? He got pulled over. This happened last year and the video just surfaced. He got pulled over. They told him to get out the car and over a traffic stop. It was recorded. The recording came to life, which it always does. Everybody has a camera. So everybody has access to this. The police department had access to this for 4 months and just now decided to fire the cops that did wrong by a guy that's a black man is serving the country. I have my thoughts on black men serving the country. I will not get into that. That was heavy too. This week's been very heavy. Last 2 weeks been very heavy for me personally. Last time I felt this heavy, I took a break from talking about sports, but this time I didn't take a break. But if any more events happen like this, like back to back consecutively, I will be taking a break because sometimes I just don't know what to say. Sometimes I'm just lost for words. But I understand who I am. I understand the type of world that I live in. Unfortunately, it's not a world that treats people with respect and love like God put us on this earth to do, was to love and respect one another. That doesn't happen at all if you're Black in America. So that's just what it is. It's my honest opinion. Everyday life is really difficult at times. Even though I haven't experienced anything quite like that, but seeing it impacts me because it impacts my kings and queens, my brothers and sisters, period. All right, guys. I went past 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, backstop banter. I'm going to get these promos out the way. Check out rxhemp.com. Use the code rxhemp/USN to get 10% off your order. Check out mybookie.ag. Use the code USN100 to double your first deposit. Patreon.com/unwrappedsports. Become a Patreon. $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month. $1 a month, general support. $5 a month, you become part of the family. $10 a month, you become VIP. Also, last but not least, check out teespring.com/stores/unwrapped and get you some ladies first gear. Also, all the live lineups have gear. We got some OG gear on there as well, along with some LeBron James gear. You'll see me back next week. I'm going to talk about the WNBA schedule. I'll talk some NBA. I'm going to talk some NFL as well. NFL draft is coming up. It's time to show the NFL some love. The NBA draft is not till July. I have all summer to prepare for that. I do want to start doing when players declare, but I think they have longer to declare now because the draft is into July. So I did a series on that on Sportscaster. It was very fun. But That's all I have for episode 30. Thank you so much. Congratulations to the WNBA and everybody got drafted. You're 25. You're 25. 2-5. You're 25, going strong. I remember when I watched my first WNBA game. I'll never forget it. Tina Thompson was the first ever number 1 overall pick. It was great. I loved it. I love sports. I feel like Mike off of The Wood. I like sports, and that's it. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next week at 7 Central. I'll be back in my normal time. Backstop Banter is next. Go check that out with Connie and Michael.